Good morning, and yes, it truly is a good morning. So this is my second video and an update on the hip replacement carried out recently using the anterior approach method. You can see probably I'm a lot more lively at this moment in time because I've had it done, and yeah, brilliant so far. How did it go? Well, I arrived at the ward on Monday the 13th, 7 AM, and now it's Wednesday. And I was due to go first down into theatre. And I think because I was having the anterior approach done, which needed probably another 2 or 3 people to assist moving my leg in the right positions, my guess is they got me out of the way first of all so the other people could go and do their other work as they were needed. After getting on the ward, the surgeon came to visit me again and drew the mandatory arrow on my leg to show which leg was going to be done. But it did actually surprise me in the fact that because I was having the anterior approach, I had no need for precautions afterwards. And for those of you who don't know, the precautions are the ones where you have to sit on elevated seats and you can't have your knee above your hip height and things like that. So that was a little bit of a surprise. He also said he would need to use less anaesthetic during the surgery injected into the hip, and this lasts for a couple of days afterwards to help pain, etc, etc. So that was brilliant. And the other sort of bombshell that really did hit me was the fact that I was actually going to go home the same day, which is absolutely crazy. So I did not expect that. So I planned for a 2-night stop and then home on the 3rd day. So yeah, absolutely fantastic news. I was then visited by the anaesthetist, and I did decide to bite the bullet and choose the epidural after him saying I would actually have some sedation. So in effect I would be knocked out. So that's what I decided to have, and it was definitely the right choice as I did come round quicker than normal than having a general anaesthetic, and I did feel much better. During the epidural process, little bit strange, didn't overly like that bit from the fact that it takes a few minutes to set up and it takes a little bit of time for it to kick in, and you do actually feel a little bit queasy I did anyway, a little bit queasy while you're having it done, and I believe that's down to your blood pressure dropping a little bit. But now I've had it done, if I ever have to have it done again, I know what to expect, so I think I'll have it done again, not a problem. So I actually walked to the theatre around 9 AM, and then I was back on the ward for 11:30, which is absolutely fantastic. Surgery took about 45 minutes to complete, and then I was in recovery again for an hour or so after, just to make sure everything was fine and I was coming to. I also asked cheekily beforehand if I could have a look at the ball from the hip, just to see how worn it was, and I think he showed it me when I was actually coming to in the recovery room, but I can't 100% be sure, but I think he did, and it did actually look badly worn in my opinion, so yeah, I definitely need doing. I was back on the ward for a cup of tea and a small sandwich and just let myself come to a little bit, which is good. And all the other guys in the ward around me were going down for their operations, some for knees, some for hips, etc, etc. Shortly afterwards I went for an x-ray just to make sure everything was perfectly lined up, which it was, and then I was back to the ward, which is, yeah, things were moving fast. The physios came at 2 PM, and this is the bit I really like doing, because now I've had my hip done, I can start to get fit again, and that's the thing for me, and get rid of the pain. So yeah, the physios came to the ward at 2 in the afternoon to get me up and walking and doing basic bed exercises that I would need to do over the coming few days and weeks. So I did the bed exercises. They were quite simplistic, just a little bit of stiffness in the muscles around the hip. But they did actually catch me off guard a little bit because I was having no precautions. They just asked me to get dressed, get up out of bed and just get dressed. So that was a little bit confusing because I'd done lots of prep work in terms of making sure I don't put my knee above my hip, all those sort of things. So yeah, a little bit confused, but I had taken some running shorts and a running top with me. So I got dressed, up on my feet, with my new hip using the crutches. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I can't say it enough. Immediately I felt I could stand upright rather than a sort of strange position that my back was in because of the position of my pelvis and my hip, etc, etc. So immediately my posture was miles better. It was absolutely brilliant. Next thing was to walk. So I did this cautiously at first. I followed the physio's instructions. Put the crutches forward first of all, then the bad leg, then the good leg, etc, etc. But I was walking, not a problem. No hip pain. Can't say it enough. I have been used to using crutches before because of the broken legs with football, but yeah, fantastic. Slight tightness with the muscles around the thigh and the psoas area because everything was being stretched now because I could actually stand up straight. So I actually walked out of the ward, down the main corridor of the hospital a little bit, and then the challenge was to go up a single flight of stairs and back down a single flight of stairs again, which I did, not a problem. Back to the ward. The physios basically said, that's us done, as far as we're concerned, you can go home. So yeah, things looking on the whole, looking like I was going to go home the same day, which is totally what I'd not planned for, but brilliant. Slight fly in the ointment was because I'd done the walking and the stairs quite soon after the surgery. The pressure dressing on the scar started to weep a little bit, so they redressed that, and then it was putting a little bit of doubt on if I was actually going to go home the same day. But this was fine. If I was going to stay in one extra night, better safe than sorry. And I had actually planned for 2 nights anyway, so not a problem. The surgeon came to visit me around 5 p.m, which was good. And again, things changed. So his words almost were, "Hello, Mr. Bradshaw, how's things going? Can you walk?" Yes, so I got up on the crutches and then straight away he says, "Do you need your crutches?" Well, yes, I think I do. So I started to walk down the corridor, down the ward, turned round, and then basically he gestured to me down the ward like that. So I'm assuming he meant raise your arms up and stand up unaided without your crutches. So I did, raise my arms, yeah, not a problem. Straight away said to the ward staff, "Right, you can go on, no reason to stop." Wow. So in short, I was on the ward at 7 a.m. and I was back home for around 7:30 p.m. So just over 12 hours. Absolutely incredible. I know I've said it many times on this so far. Wow, incredible. It's been a mind-blowing experience, this operation. It really has. So my next video will be about how I'm doing with the exercises, walking, sleeping, etc, etc. But safe to say at this point, if you ask the question, was I right having my hip operation done? Oh yes. Was I right having the anterior approach done? Hell yes. From the research I'd done beforehand, looking on YouTube, the recovery period has proved to be what I had seen. Sometimes you're a little bit unsure as to whether it will be the case, but it lives up to what it has been, so it's absolutely been brilliant. So my next video, again, like I say, is going to be about doing the exercising, walking, sleeping, etc. And again, remember, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to the next video.